Parachuted. 6. No grabé la clase. ¿Por qué no me avisan que tengo que grabar la clase? Ok, voy a empezar a grabar. Okay, let's keep analyzing this and see what are the verbs in the past tense. Number 6. What is the verb?
Shooted.
Shouted. 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 So we have shouted and
Jumped.
yes. 7.
Landed.
Good. And the last one?
Got.
Yes. It's also, like in number 1, a phrasal verb. Because if you change the preposition, it changes the meaning. But the main verb in that phrasal verb is got. So yes. And now the other instruction that we have is that we have to separate the verbs of this story. We have to divide them or classify them into regulars and irregulars. And that's pretty easy, right? Because there is a structure that we know regular verbs have. So which ones are the irregular verbs? Which ones are the irregular verbs here?
Took.
Took, good.
Fell.
Fell, this one?
Began.
Number 4, yeah. Okay, so we have fell, we have begun,
Made.
made. Any other?
Got.
Perfect. Now here's the thing with the regular verbs. Because irregulars, we know that they change the structure, right? And I uploaded the list of irregular verbs that you have to know in this English level. It's in the classroom website. So that list of verbs, you have to review it. I told you you have to review it before this class. You have to read all the verbs. You have to see if you know what they mean. You can look up how to say the verbs in also the past tense. But with regular verbs, we think, okay, it's easy because they all finish in ed. But in this one, for example, number 2 is moved. Number 5 is parachuted. And then I have jumped and landed. So even though they finish with ed, the pronunciation is not the same for all the regular verbs, right? We can say the regular verbs in the past tense in 3 different ways. So we're going to learn how to say them and how to know the pronunciation. So first, I want you guys to listen to this, to the past tense of these verbs, okay? I'm going to play the recording of the first one. I'm not sharing my sound. Give me a second. Okay.
1. Watch. Watched. 2. Look. Looked. 3. Lift. Lifted. 4. Land. Landed. 5. Dive. Dived.
Okay. Now listen to the others.
Audio 3.3. 1. Start. Started. 2. Work. Worked. 3. Decide. Decided. 4. Move. Moved. 5. Need. Needed.
Okay. So there are a couple of these verbs that have like an extra syllable in the end, right? You feel like there is another syllable that it's added. I'm gonna play them again. And now I'm going to show you which ones you have to pay attention. But if you see, like there are some differences, like this one is underlined, this one is in bold, and these ones are, are twisted. Pay attention to the differences between those three, okay?
Audio 3.2. 1. Watch. Watched. 2. Look. Looked. 3. Lift. Lifted. 4. Land. Landed. 5. Dive. Dived.
Okay, so in this three, what I have are three different sounds. In the first one, it's very tough. It's like a T, but a soft T, like watched, looked. And in lift and land, I have an extra syllable. I have lifted, landed, right? Now check, because this extra syllable also happens in these ones that I have in bold. So now listen to those.
Audio 3.3. 1. Start. Started. 2. Work. Worked. 3. Decide. Decided. 4. Move. Moved. 5. Need. Needed.
So how do I know when I add the extra syllable, when the sound is strong or when the sound is soft? Well, it has to do,
Audio 3.2. Audio 3.
it has to do with the way that they are written and the way that we say them. Hay algo que nosotros hablamos en inglés y que tiene que ver, por ejemplo, con el spelling, y otra cosa tiene que ver con la pronunciación, que es la parte fonética. Ustedes también están tomando los cursos de fonética paralelos, ¿cierto? Ok, entonces van a aprender acerca de estos sonidos, que son los voiced sounds o los unvoiced sounds, que son los sonidos que se escuchan y los sonidos que no se escuchan. Y también piensen que la pronunciación en inglés, las sílabas en inglés no se cuentan de la misma forma que en español. Por ejemplo, si yo les pregunto, ¿cuántas sílabas tiene la palabra nice? Gramaticalmente, si yo la veo, voy a decir, tiene 2, porque es como nice, ¿cierto? Así se escribe. Y así nos enseñaron en español. En inglés, nice es una sílaba, nice. Es una sílaba fonética. Y esa es la regla que se sigue cuando, por ejemplo, hacemos los comparativos. Entonces, acá, cuando nosotros vemos cómo decimos las palabras, también vamos a tener que fijarnos en cuál es el sonido en que termina cuando yo digo la palabra, cuando yo digo el verbo, para saber qué terminación tengo que agregar. So first, let's watch this short video, okay? This one is by the, it's by the embassy of the American government. So it explains a little about the pronunciation. So just take notes, okay?
Hello, welcome to pronunciation practice. My name is Sammy, and I am an American English language student. Today, we're going to practice pronouncing past tense sounds using regular verbs ending in ed. For regular verbs, we usually add ed to the end of the verb to make it past tense. The spelling is easy because you just add ed, but the pronunciation can be a little tricky. Last weekend, I walked to the restaurant. When I got there, I glanced through the menu. The waiter arrived and I ordered a steak. After dinner, the waiter handed me the bill. I left happy because my meal tasted great. These verbs all have the past tense ed, but they are pronounced in 3 different ways. In walked and glanced, the ed makes a t sound. Walked, glanced. The ed in arrived and ordered ended with a d sound. Arrived, ordered. The ed in handed and tasted ended with an id sound. Handed, tasted. So how do you know which ed pronunciation to use? There are 3 rules to remember. First, if the verb ends in a t or d sound, use the id ending. For example, the past tense of verbs want and need becomes wanted or needed. If the verb ends in one of the following voiceless sounds, such as p, k, f, s, sh, ch, or f, use the t sound for past tense. For example, we have helped and washed. If the verb ends in any vowel or in a voiced sound like l, m, n, j, r, g, b, v, w, z, use the d ending. For example, called, played. Remember how we saw that spelling and sounds don't match up? Well, look at the following words: missed, sliced, and fixed. The last sound in each verb is spelled differently, but they all make the s sound. That's why they get the t past tense ending. Remember to focus on the last sound of a word. Both promised and closed have an S before the ed ending. However, promised has an S sound and closed has a Z sound. That's why promised has a T ending and closed has the D ending. Now you try. What are the American English pronunciations for these past tense verbs? Click pause to try the activity, and press play when you are ready to continue.
Okay, I'm not going to continue with the video, but you get the idea, right? It has to do with the sounds that the verbs end. Now, I have also, I want to show you because I also uploaded information on the website. And this is an exercise that you can do alone, okay? You can do it after the class and then you can check with your classmates. I put the video here, but I also put a pronunciation guide where you have to create this conversation of people in a restaurant. You can use the verbs that are in the box, and then you can work on your pronunciation because here it has the 3 boxes that she mentions. The sounds that end in G, like the unvoiced, and the ones that you add an extra syllable. But remember that this is about sounds. Its pronunciation, this part of the pronunciation has to do with the sounds that end the word. For example, if you go back and you look at
Audio 3.3. 1.
if you think about decide, I look at it and I say, okay, it finishes in a vowel, but the sound is decide. Termina en un sonido de D, por lo tanto es decided. Okay, so just think about that. Think about the sound of the word. And this is, you have 2 ways of learning this. The idea is that you know these rules, but also get a lot of input. Listen to a lot of English, because most of it is going to be just recognizing it. All right? Okay, let's see if you guys worked on the study guide that I sent you. You have to finish this this fact list of Felix, which is the guy that jumped, with the verbs that are in the box. So you have 9 facts about his life, and you have to complete them with the verbs that are in the box, and they all have to be in the past tense. So if you want to take a picture of the screen, I'm going to put you in pairs or in groups of 3 so you can work on this for 5 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Guys, I need a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So 5 minutes so you can work on this, and then we're coming back, okay?
Hola.
Hola,
¿Cómo están? Igual. ¿Y catalogaste todas las lucecitas?
sí, creo que la mandaron al grupo también.
Mm.
You guys finish it?
Yes.
Okay, let's start checking then. What do you have for number 1?
He was.
Yes, he was born. Number 2,
He grew.
what is the past tense of grow?
Grew. Something
Grew. Yes, he grew up in Salzburg, Austria. Okay, I'm gonna ask Francisca, can you tell me number 3, please?
No alcancé a decir la 3, solamente ya hasta la 2, porque me confundí un poco.
So you only did 2 sentences?
No hice la 3 porque estaba indecisa, no sabía cuál podía ser.
Okay, and number 4, 5, 6.
I did the 6.
Okay, can you tell me number 6?
Took.
Can you tell me the sentence?
It took him 7 years to prepare for the spice dive.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, Anthony.
Yes.
Do you have any of the sentences?
Yeah, the tree. He
Okay.
he began.
Can you continue the sentence?
He began skydiving when he was 16.
Very good. Okay, number 4. Who has number 4?
He took.
He? Valeria?
He took the world record for the highest jump from a building, Petronas Tower, in Malaysia. Then the world highest building.
Okay, but we used took in number 6.
Miss,
Yeah?
it could be said, but I don't know how to say in past. Said.
Does anyone know what is the past tense of set?
Is the same word?
Said it?
Yeah. It's like set. So,
I didn't know.
okay, so he set the world record. Number 5.
He flew.
Good. Flew 23 miles. And the next part of number 5 that says for this he
Were.
past tense of where? Were. Yes. Special wings. Okay. Number 7.
Needed.
Hmm?
He needed wearing his spacesuit.
You use needed in number 7, but not in that space.
Okay.
He didn't like.
Not like
He didn't like wearing his spacesuit. And now, Alan?
I'm sorry. He He didn't wear the spacesuit mm, and
It says
need,
he didn't.
needed, or no, and needed the
Mhm.
help of a psychologist.
Yes, he didn't like wearing his spacesuit and needed the help of a psychologist. Okay, number 8.
Didn't sleep.
Mhm. And number 9.
Mary.
Married.
Period.
Married.
Miss,
Yeah,
¿por qué se dice sleep y no slept? Como,
because it's in the past, it's using didn't.
mm,
He didn't sleep. So when you use the auxiliaries, the verbs stay the same.
ujú.
La regla de los auxiliares, si usas un auxiliar, el verbo se queda en infinitivo. El verbo solo cambia en oraciones positivas, porque en preguntas también ocupas el did. Así que el verbo solo cambia cuando tú haces oraciones positivas. Ahí tienes que ver irregular o regular, the past tense of the verb.
Como también en didn't like, no es didn't like it, o didn't like.
Exactly. Didn't like. All right, guys, let's continue. Do we have any questions so far about the past tense or about the pronunciation that we saw?
No.
No? Okay, so when you're talking about the past tense or when you're making sentences with the past tense, you don't only need the verbs, you also need the context. When you start a story, you have to give the context, and you don't always say yesterday. You know, the past tense is much more extensive than that. So we're going to look at some prepositions of time and some time expressions to talk about the past. Now look at this. These are the prepositions that you use when you're saying the past: in and on. You can use in for example, in March. You can use it for in the summer. What is another thing that you say in from this box?
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, okay, that's a particular day. Look at the examples, look at the box. You're going back to the breakout rooms. Van a hacer esto en grupo because I want you guys to discuss it, okay? So you have two homeworks. I mean, not two homeworks, two assignments now. Tienen que, you have to use one expression from the box to complete the sentences, but then you have to add one more from the group for each one of the categories, okay? So you have to put the expression in the sentences, but you also have to add one more to each sentence, okay? So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to do this in your groups, and I'm going to be entering some rooms to see how you guys are working. And work in your groups. Open your microphones, talk. Don't do it alone, okay?
Hola de nuevo.
Hola. Ya.
¿Qué sería la profe por lo segundo que dijo? No
¿Ah?
me ¿Y a qué se refería la profe por lo segundo que dijo de agregar algo? Eso no caché.
Tenemos que poner las oraciones que ya están en las,
En la cajita, sí.
sí, y aparte crear otra. No sé
Ya.
si
Ya. A ver qué sale. Ya. Entonces la uno sería sí, igual estaba pensando en esa, pero igual son como raras las oraciones.
¿cuáles tienen?
Yo casi termino, pero en verdad no estoy segura de las que contesté.
Yo tampoco.
Como que no sé, como que siento que calzan extraño, pero en la primera puse 3 months.
Sí, yo
No.
también.
En la segunda, no, en la segunda no he puesto nada. En la
Es la
tercera
segunda,
tampoco.
no es New Year's Day,
¿En cuál? Perdón.
en la que dice on, en la segunda,
Ya. Voy a poner.
porque como dijo la profe, es un día en específico, ¿o no?
Mm. En la última puse she was 13, como la única que.
Sí,
Mm, pero en las otras, la verdad que no sé. En la de 2 years sería como 2014, ¿o no?
no,
Ah, ¿verdad? Sí.
cierto.
Claro, sí. Tienes razón. Entonces la primera podría ser como eh, year before last. Igual me enredo harto los ejercicios.
En la de last va week, ¿cierto? Last week.
¿Dónde dice la? Ah, ya casi. Ahí los terminamos o no. No sé, ninguna que Mm. En la 3, ¿cuál sería?
Welcome back. I know that many of you didn't finish, okay? It's okay. It's okay. If you didn't finish, it's fine. We can review this and we can do it together, okay? Because I think some of you were a little confused. Okay, so let's see. Because the idea was for you guys to find the pattern, you know, what they have in common, so you know how to finish the sentence, right? So let's see. I'm going to start checking the answers. And then we can see what else we can add. What is another thing we can add here? So in this one that says in March, in the summer, what is another thing that what is another time that we can, yes, we can say in?
In 2014.
Yeah, in 2014, because it's a year, right? So we use in when we're talking like long periods of time. What would be another expression we can use for in?
And other season, I don't know, in autumn.
For example,
or other year, any other year, like in 2020, 2021.
yeah, good. On. I have two examples. On Tuesday, on April 21st, or on 21st of April. So they're both specific days. So what can I add here?
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
On New Year's Day. Now, ojo aquí porque tienen dos fechas que se ocupan generalmente con estas celebraciones. You have New Year's Day and you also have New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is the evening, so it's the night before. So New Year's Eve is December 31st. New Year's Day is January 1st. The same happens with Christmas. Christmas Eve is short for evening. So Christmas Eve is December 24th. And Christmas Day is December 25th. But if I say Christmas Eve, everybody knows that it's December 24th. So that's why it's on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day. You use it for celebrations. On New Year's Day, on my birthday, for example, because it's a specific day. Okay? So I'm going to add that one as an example, on my birthday, because it's one day and it's a specific day. Okay, the other day, the day before yesterday. What is the other thing that we can add here?
It could be the year before last.
Mm-hmm. Can you think of another example here?
In the last week.
Okay, for that, we don't need the.
I was thinking about that. Can you say last week?
Exactly. You can say the when you're referring to a specific moment, right? So in this case, the other day, the day before yesterday, the year before last. It could be, for example, the last time I was in Santiago. The last time I talked to her or to him. The last time I went to a class. The last time I went out of my house. So you can use it to refer to the last time you did something, okay? That would be another one. Okay, 2 years ago, 6 days ago.
3 months.
3 months.
3 months ago. What would be another expression here?
An hour ago.
Exactly. You can use hours, minutes. You can use a lot of anything that happened before. Anything. Last year, last night, last
Week.
week. Yes. So you don't need the when you're using this, okay? It's just last. And this one also refers to a specific moment. When I was young, when I left school.
When she was 13.
When she was 13. And this one refers to a moment in your life. A period of time of your life. So it could be when I lived in Santiago, which could be an extended period of time. All right. Check this. I think we finished with the time. Now, as an example, as a review, you can do the exercise that I left in Google Classroom, okay? Which is to practice your pronunciation of regular verbs. You can also think about something that happened during those periods of time from the last exercise we did. Like, think about something that happened maybe 3 years ago. And try to be specific, like 3 years ago, this month, this day, this happened. We're going to start asking questions and talking about the past tense in the next class, okay? Our next class is tomorrow morning. So I am going to ask you a couple of questions about the past. I expect everybody to study the verbs, regulars and irregulars, okay? Do the exercise because on Friday, you have the test. So remember. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Ignacio?
And where I can find like la rúbrica a la prueba del viernes, perdón.
¿La rúbrica de la prueba?
Sí.
Todavía no se ha subido la rúbrica de la prueba porque es una prueba, la prueba es con alternativas, la gran mayoría. Y hay una parte que va a ser con desarrollo. Así que te puedo decir los puntajes aproximadamente mañana, pero todavía no está en la rúbrica de evaluación porque es automática. No es como el speaking, que el speaking sí les vamos a subir la rúbrica.
Entendido, gracias.
Okay. Any other questions? No?
¿Alguna unidad que va a entrar? ¿La 1 y la 2?
Yeah, it's going to be mostly vocabulary of units 1 and 2, but we can do like a little review tomorrow too, if you want. Okay, guys, that's it. Have a good day today. I will see you tomorrow, 9:30. Make sure to check the units. So if you have any questions, you can ask everything tomorrow, okay?
Okay, bye, miss.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay, miss. Bye.